I come in the name of the source. Allah Akbar.
Okay, let's get it.
Teach on any of that, you can't decode, so it don't matter. So if I say a million things, you won't get one of them. You see, let alone the fact that every time I pick up a camera, I'm a visionary. So I'm doing it on purpose. I have to think about it that way. Masters think about things that way. So anything we doing, we thinking about it that way. And then we already the spoiled brat because we God's chosen. Then God sends us signs every time we're looking for one to let us know, the elect know what I'm talking about, that God is with us. You see? So you think we acting up when we just moving on our own. It's when we tap into that not my own accord side of it that you can really see what you're dealing with, because we got helping hands. You see what I'm saying? AI is my helping hand. Media is my helping hand. AI media, AI music videos, this shit line up with what the fuck. I'm the only one that really know what the fuck to do with this shit. That's what I'm going to tell you. You're going to see people trying to make movies and shit. You're going to see people trying to do this shit. I'm telling you, when I put out stuff, people want to copy it. It don't matter. Because I'm telling you, I can run 40,000 miles per hour. They go 40 miles per hour. So let them have it. I do a sitcom and everybody want to do the sitcom. I be peeping gang. I'm like, okay, but I don't take that as no offense. I say, okay, the inspiration has started. But let the inspiration sprinkle over. When you really watch me take off, I'm just telling you, I'm not trying to hear none of that. Oh, he changed and none of that. That's you being entertained, trying to put your opinion. All the masters gonna know I'm the censored one. Ain't no change in me. You see, I told you, all these so-called teachers, what are they teaching? Listen, can you see someone that can do this? Now, this is a photo that I took because I was sitting in front of my camera, in front of the computer, the same computer screen. I just took this photo. I threw a purple filter on it, and those who got eyes can see. Can any of these people out here do that, what I just did? And I ain't even do nothing but just do what I just did. But what is that I just did? What is that? How is that? Who is that? Why is that? You see, and that ain't the same person you saw a month ago, 2 months ago, last year. That ain't the same being, but it's the same being. You see, that's why I say only those with eyes can see who is really moving at what point in time. You see, they'll ask you, are you this? Are you that? I say, it don't matter what name I give you, you will not know who or what it is that you're dealing with. You'll only have a story to refer to. That's it. You ain't gonna know unless you can look in the eyes and know. And that type of knowing, it stops at what you think you can put a name on or a title on. You were already told I was coming. And you would have to know what that would mean. How many versions of me are you dealing with at one point in time? You have to know which one you're dealing with. You have to know why. Okay, people get around me. That's one of the main reasons why they can understand what I'm saying. Those of you who ain't been around me, it's kind of difficult to understand. You have to know that when there are 18 people standing around me, I am facing each and every one of them. And whoever needs whatever version of me at that time, they're all getting that version at the same time, whichever version they need. So if somebody over here need this version, that version over here, that version over there, everybody's receiving what they need. The issue is, and I'm going to put this out here. The issue is, once you get what you were looking for, what do you do? That's why people want to put it off on me. That's why you're looking for messiahs. Because when we come, when those angels arrive, what happens is people are looking for us to spread our wings, pick them up, and take them to the heavenly plane. And that's not how this goes. Now, be mindful when you're speaking and dealing with certain individuals or certain beings. Why? So, because you could be entertaining an angel. You could be. It's very possible. However, what would you do with that knowledge other than ascend to the ranks of being one yourself? And if it is not to ascend to the ranks of being an angel yourself or aligning with that malakhood, all right, then what are you doing? You will become a fan, all right, or one who worships. And when you're dealing with certain ones of us, we'll tell you, hey, stand up. Don't bow down. Don't bow before me. You won't see me saying everybody get on their knees, worship me, kiss the ground. The black man is God. No, none of that. All them, when they encounter us, they can't even stand up. So them same ones who telling people to bow down, when they encounter us, they can't stand up. You understand? I'm just asking you, not telling you, I'm asking you. You look at what you look at the image on your screen and you tell me, what do you see? Who do you see? Why do you see it? You look and look, you don't have to say a name. You don't even have to do that. You don't even got to type anything. All you have to do is receive and understand. That's it. That's it, because that's all you can do. That's all you can do. You're going to tell me you can look at what you're seeing and think that that being is bound here. I'm just saying, you got a lot of people that look certain ways and do certain things. They add on dashikis and copper and tattoos and eye patches and, you know what I'm saying, chains with Tahuti on it and nails and all kinds. And that's just him with his face. That's just him with his face. That's just him with his face. You see, what do those eyes say? And they always saying, oh, you wear the shades. Why you wear the shades? The eyes are the windows to the soul. Yeah, the eyes are the windows to the soul. So why you so adamant about me taking my shades off? It don't go one way. Remember, I'm not the teacher that's going to teach what everybody's teaching. I'm not going to say what everybody's saying. So the things that they say is not enough degrees for me. You going to tell me that it only goes one way, that you can only look into the soul of the person? You see what I'm saying? And that light ain't protruding out. You see what I'm saying? Or that the light is only protruding out and you can't interfere with and interact with the soul of the person. If I'm wearing shades around a group of people, it's because 90% of them can't be trusted energetically. It's just that simple. When you lock eyes with someone, something occurs. There's a soul-to-soul connection. It's a real thing. That's what people are looking into. Look me in my eyes, because they're looking for empathy, right? You see, they're looking for something to be entered into. They're looking for a doorway. They want to have that connection. And once they enter into that doorway or that bond or that connection, you're bound right there with them in that moment. And if you don't understand that, then yeah, it'll seem like, why does this dude got shades on? Why did Pops wear shades? He'll be around people and he'll put on his shades. And you sit there and say, look, he got his shades on. He's trying to hide who he is. No, he's not trying to hide who he is. You know how many times people have seen my eyes? You know how many times people around me and they'll see my eyes? You need something to find. People are looking for something. Say, I got to look in your eyes when I'm talking to you. Why? You still won't see me. What's the purpose? What's the point? I take the shades off. Niggas want to get off the live. You remember that? They say, I wish you would take your shades off, phase one, so I can look in your eyes. I took the shades off and they got off of the live. Please stop acting like you understand what it is you're dealing with, and then things will move smoother. Stop acting like you know what you're dealing with. You see, everybody speaks about it though. Hit them with it. Say, hey, can human beings be angels? Meaning, can an angel disguise themselves as a human being? Ask the people who say, yo, he's crazy. He called himself an angel. That's blasphemous. Yo, pull up their records and their scripture that say you could be entertained in an angel and not know. Angels appear in human form. You see, you looking for some mystical spirit. Then how did they sit with Abraham and eat? How did them people out there, them disagreeable, evil, wicked people out there in Sodom and Gomorrah, how did they reach forth to try to attack those beings who came to help Lot and give Lot the message? How are they going to attack a spirit? You see, they can't. So what you call angels, they look like what you see on the screen. And I'm not talking about the skin. I'm not even talking about the eyes or the pixels. I'm talking about what you get from it when you lock on the image. Those are the angels. Do you get it yet? You see it yet? You see it yet? Those are the angels. That's what an angel is. What do you get when you look at the being? Are you dealing with a regular human? That's all you got to ask yourself. You don't got to mystify it. You don't got to try to see whether or not God sent me off a cloud. You don't have to do it even for just my image. When you look in the mirror, can you see it? If not, will you ever see it? When Dr. Malachi York teaches, human beings are baby angels. They're baby angels. You're on your way to becoming centered, right? Stepping outside of that time belt that they placed you in. And if it's a time belt, what else belt is it? It's a space belt. Time and space are one and the same. So I ask you, who is teaching something new? Point them out. Show me. Who has the ability to do so? Teach me something new. If we are truly in the company of any ascended masters out here, I challenge them, stand up and teach me something that does not exist in this plane. Show me something new. This boundless symbol, I told you, you're going to see it now. Don't be surprised if you see people start putting their own twists and spins on the symbol, because that's what people do. Out of fear, a lot of them, because they don't want to feel like something is happening and they're left behind. So a lot of people are going to come and they're going to try to sit and listen and hear about the boundless symbol anytime it's being spoken of. Why? Because they don't want to be left behind. And I'm not talking about people that's just been around. I'm talking about people out there who you don't know. They'll come in on their burner accounts just to see what's going on. The last thing they want to do is be left behind. Well, I got news for them. They have already been left behind. It has already occurred. If you're hearing my voice, you have already been left behind. You have already been left behind. Now, when they speak on hereafter, they're speaking about a location and a time. Here, locationally, centered wherever you are. If you're in the earth plane, you're in the earth plane. Guess what? That's past a specific point or coordinate on the time belt. So if the time belt is marked to 10.5 thousand BC, all right, or BCE, before the common era, not before Christ existed. That's the Christians. They did that. BCE is before common era. The common era is what you call Anno Domini. It didn't say after death. The Christians did that. Anno Domini. You see what I'm saying? And even still, they pointed toward it to say a new dominion or the year of the Lord. Guess who did that? The Christians. So before the common era, or before they started to mark a specific time zone on the specific time belt as it altered itself, okay, you have 10,500 BC, or however far back you would go. If you're going 6,000 BC, okay, or 4,000 BC from 2,000, which would be 6,000 years ago. However far back you go, now you line up to Y2K, as they call it, all right, or Y6K, or the year 6,000, in accordance to what that timeline would have been. And now you are roughly 30 minutes past the hour mark from 1970, okay, to the year 2000, which would have actually been a half hour mark if you read the book of Revelation chapter 8, where they said a silence was in the heavens for about the space of what? Half an hour. Which means that when they say the man of the hour, okay, or no man know the hour, Al-Quran speaks about the hour, confusion and answers and questions about the hour, the hour, the hour, the hour, a point in time, 60 minutes, okay, a specific amount of minutes and a specific amount of degrees, okay, which will be 1/6 of a 360-degree revolution. Do you understand? So it'll take 6 hours to complete a 360-degree revolution. You understand? If you're going 60 minutes, 60 minutes, 60 minutes, 60 minutes. You with me? So 60 minutes is what? 1 hour. 1 hour in alignment with however many hours exist in what you're now calling a day, not the 12 hours of what would have been referred to as Yom. Okay, which would have been 6 and 6, which makes 12 hours, or 360 and 360, which makes 720 degrees. So 6 hours would have been a complete circle. Another 6 hours will be a complete circle. Another 6 hours will be a complete circle. Another 6 hours will be a complete circle. And by then you hit 720, and then you do another 720, you're 1440. But by the time you get to 1440, you're at the top of the pyramid. Okay, so if I go around the pyramid from the bottom, the base, listen, and on to the 4 levels. So from base level all the way up to the top level, there are 4 levels that I can break down. Those 4 levels will have 52.5 stone levels. Okay, meaning if I break it down to how many levels of stone, not the pyramid on the back of the dollar bill, that's one thing when they give you the 13 levels. You got another lineup of the actual Great Pyramid referred to as Khufu's Pyramid. Okay, that's the qualifier, a replication of that which you call the earth plane, Ardu, earth, okay, that you can find being crafted in the beginning of the book of Genesis, Genesis chapter 1. What's happening? When they say in the beginning, God, all right, the overseer or overseers formed, formed or put together, fashioned, okay, the heavens, the capstone, and the earth, the base of the pyramid. Okay, the earth or the base or the pyramid itself was void and without form. They had to put it together. And there were waters around the pyramid. If you don't know, say speaking of the waters in the face of the deep, the Nile and the different types of rivers flowing around, and they actually use the water to help them get the limestones up to the pyramid when they were building it. You see? So they were hovering. They say the spirit of the God, the spirit of Elohim, all right, Eli, okay, Pharaoh, the spirit of Khufu in his boat was floating or hovering over the water. Tell them to explain that degree. And I'm going to be quiet now. Tell them to explain it. If you really one of those, tell me if you can reach back to our degree before the biblical degree and find our degree as soon as the biblical degree opens up and wrap it around the pyramid. And I'll be quiet and I'll listen to what you got to say. If not, be ready for what's coming. Okay? When he say you're moving out of bounds now, you can't keep us boxed in. Nuwapu broke us out of the box. Nuwapu broke us out of the spell. And Nuwapu tapped each and every one of us who came here. Well, they attempted with everything in their power, they did. They attempted to shut off the genetic activations that were going to happen for the angelic seed. And now those who are angelic seed can't be nervous about being the angelic seed. If you don't know whether or not you are, don't claim it. If you don't know whether or not you're one of the angels, don't claim it. But for those of you who feel drawn to angelhood, you don't do that in a nervous fashion. You stand up, you take out your sword, you pull up with your trumpet, and you better get ready. You see me teaching, you see me moving, you see me bold, you see me ratiba, unshaken, unmoved. Why? Just like the pyramid. The pyramid is the true four corners of the earth, placed in the earth, dug in deep, so that it cannot move. It's fixed and moved. This planet Earth is not fixed and moved. It rotates. You see, this planet Earth is not fixed and moved. There are earthquakes. This planet Earth is not fixed and moved. Tectonic plates shift. This planet Earth is not fixed and moved. It orbits around the sun. This planet Earth is not fixed and moved. It's tilted on its axis. If it's tilted on its axis, then you can't tell me that God would have created the world or the earth, planet Earth, lopsided, okay, as opposed to right and exact. So it's tilted on its axis. You want to know why? Because it moved. So what are we saying was something that would not be moved or fixed, put in place? The pyramid. That great pyramid. The reason why we say great pyramid is it's the qualifier of those who will be the great ones. The elite or the elect. It's a representation of your journey. You understand? Up the pyramid, which is out the pyramid, which is into the pyramid. Up is out is in. You hear me? So you start your journey from point one of the four corners and you start squaring the circle. All right? And you go up 52.5 levels. All right? You're done. You go to the next level, 52.5 levels. You're done. You go to the next level, 52.5 levels. You're done. You go to the next level, 52.5 levels. You're done. And by the time you hit the capstone, you have become like God. Now the man has become like one of us, knowing good from evil. Okay, like they spoke about in the book of Genesis chapter 3, verse 22. Okay, 3:22, they say skull and bones. The skull and bones is what? It's a pyramid. Go look at the symbol for the skull and bones. Go look at the movie skulls. Okay, and you'll see all they were speaking about was a sacred society that's mocking and mimicking the Masons. And the Masons are mocking and mimicking the ancient Egyptians, the ancient Egyptian order. So when you put a skull in between an X of two bones lined up on each other, that is the skull is the capstone. Okay, or Golgotha is what they call it, the place of the skull. It's the top, the point, that small. You see, and that skull capstone is ignited when you become an illuminated one. Illuminatus, Illuminati. They took it all and they just flipped it. You see, so if you're looking down at the skull and bones, you'll see the pyramid. The X marks the spot. What spot? The center. What center? The skull, but only from the overseer's point of view. You understand? God's looked down on the planet. This is what Dr. Melchizedek was teaching. They look down. You got to come up where we are to understand 90% of what we're saying. If not, everything's going to sound like hogwash. Everything is going to sound like we just speaking and just saying things. When we have not just double speak, we got triple speak, quadruple speak. We speak up to 9 degrees and beyond. We'll be saying one thing and mean it for 9 things. And you have to know what degree you're on to be able to access it. Okay, so you get to the top of the capstone. All right. And you illuminate oneself after having traveled each of these 52.5 levels to get to the 210th level, the 210th degree, each of those levels themselves being a degree, and you traveling, making these degrees at going about 315 feet per, feet per hour. You see what I'm saying? Depending on how fast you will be traveling to be able to complete this full revolution on 4 different levels. But why? Why? You become like Khufu. Why? Why? How are you being measured? You're being measured to the arm of God. And that is why you'll see 52.5 levels lined up on the 1st, 3rd, 4th, and 2nd levels. 4 of those levels will have 52.5 levels because 52.5 is the measurement of Khufu's arm. All right, which they didn't have it like that all the time because back in that time or those ancient days, people would oftentimes measure from their elbow to their middle finger extended to say, okay, this is this type of metric, an arm's length of this, an arm's length of fabric, an arm's length of that. Okay, but Khufu was God. Okay, this is the Pharaoh Horus supposedly embodied. All right, so he was the one who would have had the measurement, and it came up to like 48.6. They didn't even speak it completely because if you really know the story, it came to like 48.6, his measurements truly. But what they did was they added a palm's length on it to measure it out completely so that it could be even all the way across the board when it came time for them to rule it off of what they refer to as royal cubits. So when they speak of cubits, how the pyramid is 280 by 440 cubits, it's not just cubits, it's royal cubits. And the reason for that is because it was measured to Khufu's arm. You see? So that same 52.5, all right, as in cubits or royal cubits, that same 52.5 as a measurement is the same 52.5 that you have for each of the levels of each of the 4 levels. So 52.5 stones will be measured for the 1st level and to the 2nd and to the 3rd and to the 4th. All right. And none of these are mistakes. So everything aligned with that pyramid, even to the ratio of how the pyramid itself aligns with the earth, okay, from a ratio of 1 to 43,200. And that's real time. Go look it up. That means that same number 432 that they use for the hertz is the same number plugged in on a ratio of what will happen if I take this small pyramid in the scale of the earth, all right, and match it to or raise it to the scale of how the measurements of the earth are. So the radius of the Great Pyramid will align with the radius as far as the scaling of the earth and so on and so forth. And this is the sacred science, even down to the light. Let there be light. Let there be, if we go due north on the pyramid, let there be an alignment of a specific point that allows for a light number to be registered. You see, there are so many things that you can learn from just the pyramid alone. So the point is, only those who are of the life will find it. Only those who are of the Father will make it. A lot of people stop on the journey and say, this is too strenuous for me. A lot of people give up. A lot of people can't make the journey. So you see this image here. One of the things that you need to know about this image is that it is a time belt. It's a time belt. Remember I say you have to be around to witness it when it comes time for me to explain certain things. Some things I'll explain, so I might drop a dime on the live. But I'm talking about those who are coming in September 20th. You'll hear certain things and see certain things. You already know that. Okay. And witness certain things. You already know that. Okay. And that will be for you. After you have that, you don't take it for a grain of salt, because a lot of people will witness certain stuff and then they'll still mess up. They'll still dip out. They'll still leave. They'll be right on the walk and then they dip off the walk. And it don't do nothing to me. It's just, that's their decision. That's their choice. So once you say, I'm ready, you have to know when they say the student is ready, the master will appear or the teacher will appear. You say, you ready? All right, cool. I come through. I say, all right, here's what you have. You have everything that I was given from the master, Marduk. This is what I've been able to do with it. All right. You yourself will be able to do works, even greater works than these. You'll be able to do. You won't be able to do anything if you allow for your potential, as they call it, to remain untapped. You see, then it won't be anything. It won't be nothing I could do. You'll just be one of the people who decided that they was interested in something. Now, this is what you need to know. When we're speaking of pyramids, that's how it is. At the top of the pyramid, there are a few people. At the bottom of the pyramid, there are a lot. So there will be a lot more people who just interested. They just want to know. They're just interested in what's happening. You see, they're just entertained. There's going to be a lot more of those. It's going to be a few people that's going to be like, wait a minute, I get what you're saying. Okay? Now, of those few will be those who can listen. You see? How you get this far, then you're going to be able to tell me something. You got to be able to listen. I just watch people. Do you listen? When we tell you to do something, can you understand? Wait, they're telling me this so that I can ascend. You see? They're not trying to stop me from ascending. The reason why I'm here is because the guidance that he gave was for me to ascend. If people get that far, it'd be like, man, fuck that. I'm going to do my own thing. I said, okay, do your own thing then. And I'm seeing people out there doing that. And I'm saying people, they end up being slanderous and move against it. It's like, well, who are you trying to stop? Are you trying to stop me? I don't get the point in that. Why would you be trying to stop me? Stopping me isn't going to stop what's coming to this place. You see what I'm saying? Not to say that you can, but it won't stop what's coming. All right, you're trying to stop me. Can you place your hand on the hour hand, the minute hand, the second hand, and stop it? Do you have the ability to reach into the machine, plug up the gears, and stop them from moving? No? All right, well then that's just as vain as all the other things that people have been doing for these 2,000 plus years. It's very vain what they do. You see what's moving and you still try to stop it, but you know you can't stop it. So why even try? They see the motion and they'll try to stop it. Why are you trying to stop it? Then you got those who just are truly intrigued. They want to know what it is, but they're afraid. I got people from all over. A lot of people can't stand and say the things that I say. A lot of people can't move at the rate, at a speed that I move at. When I speak on Farrakhan, a lot of people, they immediately get to freezing up. When I speak on these people who supposed to be leaders, people get to freezing up. But why do I speak that way? Because I speak like one who has authority. They should be able to recognize that and know what that means. I speak like one that has authority. All you gotta do is look in my eyes and know. Why would I be? You have to see, you have to imagine me going and joining the NOI, shaving my hair, standing there with a suit on, and imagine you walking up on me outside at the West End, and I come up on you and say, Bean Proud Brother, would you like to have some bean? Or take me and put me in the Hebrew Israelite costume, and imagine you see me outside yelling, that's right. And then you walk up, I say, brother, do you know who you are? Do you know who you are, brother? It don't match. You see, my genetics don't match that. You have to understand what that means. When you see the Hebrew Israelites, their genetics match that. There's only a certain amount of types of people on your planet. That's the truth. Only a certain amount of personality types on your planet. That's the truth. And so it doesn't matter whether it was Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Yahweh bin Yahweh, Nature Boy, Bobby Hemmett. It doesn't matter. These people were built off of blueprints that already existed for genetic structure, okay, and genomes prior to their arrival. So anything they stepped out to do, they had to use pieces and bits and bricks to be able to do it. And so when they found something, say, I like this, I like Knight Templar, and somebody else said, I like the Bible, I like the Old Testament. You know what I'm saying? They found that it started to shape their genes, and it latched on, and they grew literally into like-minded, like people. You understand? Like-minded, like people. In the image and after the likeness of whoever their God is. All right? These people say, I serve a terrible God. I said, that might explain it. The Hebrew Israelites are saying that. I serve a terrible God. My God will come here and stomp on your neck. I said, God has a foot. They're so violent and upset and don't understand why. They're playing gladiator from the movies that we saw growing up. And eventually they're going to have to realize that. Yo, first of all, okay, if I'm an Israelite, according to what you're saying, then why am I not being reached out to by God for that explanation? God should be able to reach out to, just like he did any of the other ones. Reach out to him and say, this is who you are. Come pull up on me and say, this is my son. Much of you people been out here running and talking and running their mouth. I've never seen a cloud overshadow them. Okay? And say, these are our sons whom we love. Listen to them. But when Jesus was talking, then a cloud overshadowed him. Say, this is my son whom I beloved. All right? Listen to him. So maybe the only Israelite that we've ever known about after that would have been him, because none of these people out here are having any signs, any miracles. Nothing is coming when they speak but a hard time and a headache. Okay, I do not genetically align with that. You know what you need to be thinking? Anything that you're indulging in these days moving forward, you need to be asking yourself, do I genetically align with this? I was in Publix. I was in Publix earlier today. I saw them cookies. Y'all know them cookies. The soft cookies with the little icing on it. Y'all know the cookies I'm talking about. I kept circling around them like a vulture, like a buzzard. I kept circling around them, and I couldn't put them in my buggy. There are going to be things in these days that you're not going to be genetically aligned with. And the more tapped in you become when it comes to that, you'll be dealing with things intellectually. So you're not just eating because you're hungry. Now you eat and say, I can't have this bread, not because the bread is inaccessible to me. I can't have this bread because I know what's going to happen when I eat this bread. You might try to eat the seafood. You won't be able to keep the seafood down, so there's no reason to try. And you're going to know why. But to push past that will be stupid. This is why this type of degree is reserved for the intellectuals. You're not going to be eating food because you're hungry. You're going to be eating food because I know, okay, this amount of this, this amount of this, this amount of this is going to be able to aid and assist with this. The digestion is going to be aided with this part. You're going to be exercising. You're going to be moving like a walking laboratory because you are. All them chemicals spinning in your body day in and day out. You tell me you're not a laboratory. And you got this brain that allows for you to be the chemist that you are, the geneticist that you are, but we're not using it. But that's not going to be in the newer days. In the newer days, when you start breaking out of the bounds that they put you in and you become more of a boundless being, you're going to start looking at it differently. You're going to start walking differently. You're going to start talking differently. And then I'm going to tell you this. Don't get mad at me. Some of y'all already know what I'm going to say. Once you start breaking free, I mean really breaking free. If you find that everything is all good and dandy, I mean no one's giving you a problem, it's all good, people all around it is happy and jolly, offering you all kind of, hey man, come smoke with us, come have a good time, da 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 da. If you find that that's all you see in your reality, then yeah, you haven't gone anywhere, and it might be comfortable for you there. Cool. That'll be the comfort that you need. Those of you who figured it out, you're going to need the comfort of the spirit of truth. Howbeit, when the spirit of truth arrives, you understand that spirit of truth ain't just going to be no person. It's going to be a spirit of truth inside that say, well, you know what the reward is. Yeah, it hurts to do these push-ups. Yeah, it hurts to run on the treadmill. Yeah, it hurts to run a mile. Yeah, it hurts to not eat the things you want to eat. Yeah, it hurts. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts to not do the stuff you would have done. It hurts to not hit the club with these people when you know you want to hit the club with these people. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts. But the one who has the spirit of truth knows, man, this shit is going to pay off. This going to pay off. So it's an intelligent thing to do, to allow it to pay off. It's the one who fights it and say, we look at them and say, they're just not ready. There's no way you could be ready if you're going to fight when you know for sure that it's your time to literally raise your frequency. You're going to elevate truly, not just saying it because the rhetoric sounds nice, all these buzzwords that people been using for all this time, and God this and divine that. You have to look at what's happening. Okay, we hit Stone Mountain. Now Stone Mountain is active. Have y'all been paying attention? They just had 1,000 people on Stone Mountain. You know what I mean? We hit Stone Mountain. Now everybody is on Stone Mountain. I told you, we done shifted the writing. Now that's a real deal live wire zone where people are being pulled there now. And they won't know what it is. I went there. The vortex on Stone Mountain is open. You ever get to Atlanta, go to Stone Mountain, you'll feel it. It's open. They had 1,000 people there cheering. And do those people know why they're on Stone Mountain? Probably not. They just had a prayer meet on the Stone Mountain. Do those people know why they went to the Stone Mountain with a cross in their hand? No. But before they went on Stone Mountain with a cross in their hand, who went to Stone Mountain with a cross in his hand? Phase one, Omari. And he had an ankh in his hand. So now Stone Mountain at the top, pay attention, prophecy fulfilled, has been declared a holy point. And now people from all over are coming, literally, from Chicago, from Indianapolis, from all over, to stand on the holy point. And they probably will never know why. It doesn't matter. We come through, we open something up, and we just get to moving. We come through, we handle something, we get to moving. We get to moving, we get to moving. I told you, Stone Mountain is Golgotha. And so when I went up there, listen, and we did what we did, listen, and we moved what we moved, it was declared the new Golgotha. So that Stone Mountain is no longer a mountain. It is what? A pyramid. And anyone who climbs to the top of that mountain where we stood and did what we did and opened what we opened, they have to understand you are now standing on holy ground. You see? Some people have to know it for knowing it. Some people have to see it for seeing it. And some people have to feel it for feeling it. It's already starting. There will be no bounds. There are no bounds. You tell me one. You tell me one. If you find yourself under a dogma, you better shake it off. If you find yourself under a religion, you better shake it off. Now, I'm not telling you to abandon your religion. I'm saying if you find yourself under it, how do you know whether or not you're under a religion? Because when people get to speaking to you and questioning and challenging it, you feel like you yourself are being questioned and challenged. You feel like you're in danger when someone is threatening to reveal the truth about something that's involving this religion or this doctrine. You feel like you must hate this person. Now, they're like, look, you got the people out there that are Christians, they're fighting each other. And they don't know why they're fighting. You want me to tell you why? I'll tell you why. They could have asked me. I would have told them. The reason why the Christians are fighting each other is because no matter how they want to kick it, attention seeking and kingdom seeking do not mix. They're supposed to be seeking this kingdom that's an afterlife kingdom. Okay? A certain type of existence that even takes you off planet. But all they want is some attention. That's all they want. They want to look like they're living it. They want to look like they're walking it. They want to sound like it. And anytime they're being challenged, they say, well, that's not what it says. Or you tell me if this matters to you enough. Did you take the time to know this name or this word or this? Once they're challenged, they run back to it and say, well, I can't lean on my own understanding. Oh, only God can judge me. They got all these safe ways out. Remember, we test the spirit in front of them. Say, okay, you say you got the Holy Spirit? Oh, we're going to test that right now. I'm going to ask you some questions. Remember, they try to play it and say, oh, well, every question don't need to be asked. All right, well, you asked the Holy Spirit, can I get my answers then? Did you see that? And then when they asked, the Holy Spirit said yes. I said, that's great. I asked 3 questions and the Holy Spirit got all 3 wrong. I tell you to go get any of these Christian leaders, teachers, any of these Muslims, Christians, spiritual divine insight. Tell them come here. I want to ask them something. Is that okay? Can I do that? Tell them come here. And I'm only going to ask them things based off of how they appear and what they sound like. They say they don't know. I'll leave them alone. I know what they don't know. They say they don't know. I'll let them be, and they'll go on about their way. I respect their belief. But when you say you stepping out like you know something, and you're in tune with God, and you're speaking okay, let me ask you some things. Let me ask you something about that. Oh, you say you got divine insight. Oh, okay, you accessing the ethers. That's where you get your information from? Okay, let me ask you this question about this. Because if we're all operating within this realm, which will be ether-based, then you should be able to access any piece of information in this realm if you're able to pull your information from why you're walking away. Why everybody walk away when I start explaining what the question is going to be? Right now, I got to start just popping out with the question. You start explaining so they start figuring out that they can wiggle their way out of it because they know. People don't want to be exposed. They don't want to be shown for the frauds that they are. They don't want to be shown. You know you don't know what you're saying. You know Jesus ain't talked to you. What are you talking about? You know, you couldn't tell me what the Holy Spirit was if it slapped you in the face. You know that. You know that. You can read it all day, but tell me what, okay, these people are able to do this when they get the Holy Spirit. You tell me which one of that you able to do. You speak in tongues, because when the Holy Spirit came under these people or over these people, the Spirit of God allowed for them to be able to speak in tongues. Can you do that? Yeah, I can speak in tongues. Okay, but before you move forward and think that I'm talking about hubbity, let me show you what speaking tongues actually means. Turn the Corinthians, and then they walk away. Where you running to? You must have heard about it. You must have heard about me. I'm walking up on these apostles and all these people calling themselves this. Now is the time. They have to understand it. Nobody can shake it now. Now is the time. And all I'm telling you to do is pay attention to who ducks and who dodges. Pay attention to them above all. Okay, whether it's the OSMs and whoever. If they duck and dodge, you please understand it's for a reason. Because people sit and they watch and they observe. And then they calculate. Say, if he comes onto my thing and starts asking some of the questions that he asked in the Telegram chat, I ain't going to be able to just mute him and wait for an hour. And you know what I'm saying? I'm going to have to answer what he's asking. And then I'm going to look like a fool. Don't this sound familiar? Well, Pops was saying they don't want to bring me on. They don't want to bring me on TV because then I'm going to start saying some things and asking some stuff and they won't be able to answer it. They're going to look like a fool in front of their congregation. And what's happening now because of the internet is the congregation is anybody that's tuning into your channel. So when these people are looking, they're looking at you saying, we're going to save your souls. They cannot save your souls. If they feel that they're in position to be able to save your soul, tell them, come here and let's talk. I want to ask them how they plan on doing that. And then they're going to walk right into the trap because if you're saying you're saving people's souls, that's one thing. So I'm going to ask you, are you saving their soul or are you saving their body? They're going to say, what do you mean by that? Because they don't know that if you're saying you're saving their souls, that means you're speaking in terms of a possible separation of the soul from the body. At whatever point and whatever time, that's the Christian doctrine. Okay? Or what the Christians have been taught out here. I'll say it that way. Or are you talking about saving the body? Because if you're speaking about saving the body, then you would be referring to an abduction of some sort. Y'all hear me? A rapture, if you want to use that word. A picking up, a taking up, a collection of some sort. Where people will be taken off of the planet Earth. So if you're saying you're saving their soul, that's one thing. But what the soul got to do with it if it's supposed to be their body that's taken off, unless you're saying that the soul in the body, okay, I'll buy it, still soul, how are you going to get those people prepared to be taken off the planet if you can't even tell them when there's a pickup? Because you're saying there are no more pickups. You're saying 2032 is the last time we're going to hear from any of these celestial beings prior to the leveling of civilization. Certain civilizations that could include, by the way, the civilizations that your bookstores are located in, the civilizations that your economic structure and infrastructure is built within. That same civilization is going to be leveled and pancaked. And the biggest thing that they're concerned about now is the books and who's going to be able to buy them. And they don't understand. They're already out of time. They already are out of time. So they can't save you. How can they save your soul? And they couldn't save themselves. They missed every single pickup according to what they say from the year 2003 up to now. You have to understand. That means whatever it is that you would need to do, whatever the requirements would be, to be able to get yourself in order to get out of here, they had over 23 years to do it. And somehow they're still saying they have not done it. They missed every pickup, but yet you need to buy a book from them who missed every single pickup. Let me show you what that means. That's somebody telling you that they've been shooting baskets. You with me? For 24 years. And they never made one. But they're going to be your coach. And they're going to coach you on how to make a basket. And you're like, okay, can you demonstrate for me how to make one? And they go for it. And it's hideous. And they don't make the basket. And somehow, if I say, well, I don't see that you could be a coach if you can't even fucking make a basket. You can't even get the form right. You see what I'm saying? You got to get the form. Show how people get the form correct. Can you do that? Can you show people how to even look like they can shoot? You can't even do that. All right. So how are you going to be a coach of somebody making a basket and you've never made a basket? Ever made a basket? I mean, you've never made one. Well, Baba said, no, you can't bring him in. How you going to bring him in it? You know what I'm saying? This is your thing. You're selling a book. He's not selling a book. He ain't making no money for no books. This is all you. This is all your thing. Well, we're here to help free Baba. No, you're not here to help free Baba. You're here to help free Baba. That's what you'll be doing. No, you're here to babble. Run your mouth and babble on and babble on and babble on. And here, buy the book, buy the book, buy the book. This is going to save your soul. This is going to save your soul. This is going to save your soul. And you look at them, say, it never dawned on you? You're going to help me save my soul. Yeah. Did you save yours? Well, no, I haven't saved my soul yet because there's no time to save my... If it's not time for you to save your damn soul, why the fuck is you on my nerves about whether or not I should spend $20 to save my soul? You have to understand what it is that I'm really saying and hear what it's over. It is over for them. You gotta know. That is over. It don't even make sense. That's how you know he ain't in it. He ain't got nothing to do with that. How he got something to do with something that don't make no sense? If I know from everything from when I got here, first landed, everything makes sense. If I listen to just his meditation tones, it makes sense. It's stuff that I didn't know what he was saying to this day. I don't know what he said. It's certain tones and all, it still makes sense. So you gonna tell me he's supposed to be involved in whatever it is these people got going and ain't nothing that they saying or doing making sense. You see? You tell me how are people going to transform? How are people going to get their body prepared to get up out of this place if you can't tell me where they're going to land? You don't know where they're going. You don't know where they're going to hit. Do you know whether or not the Riskians are speaking about leveling civilization before they said they would? Do you know whether or not they're going to switch the time belt up? If we have our own time and it's operating out there at 19 on the first and the first and the first, 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 and the first. Can you tell me whether or not somewhere within that time frame they decided to do things a different way? Okay. Can God change his mind? Yes. Can the Elohim change their mind? Yes. Are we made in the image and after the likeness of the Elohim, Neteru? Yes. Okay, so whatever they told you, can they change their mind? Yes. So why are you speaking for them when you say there are no more pickup dates? How do you know? Say this instead. Say you were told there were no more pickup dates. Wouldn't make no difference. You didn't make none of the other ones, so it'll be the same. It's like regular. You were told there's no way out. Okay, say that. And while you're in the midst of saying that, please remind these people out here who don't know that he said it's about the psychics. Why do you think they're coming out with all of these psychic movies now? Disclosure Day. What's another movie that just came out with recently that had something to do with a psychic? It was that Spider-Man movie. It had something to do with a psychic. You see, whoever the girl was, the Jean Grey, she was a telepath. All right? All of these movies about psychic intervention, psychic connection, psychic abilities. And you think that's a chance? You think that's a coincidence? No, that's what they're not teaching that. You want to know why? They're not in tune. He said only the true psychics. Now, this ain't like the movies. Sometimes the psychics are activated by being connected with first. They tap you first before you even know what your abilities are. Some of y'all are psychic and don't know you're psychic, which is probably why you don't go around saying, I'm a psychic. It's the ones who going around saying they're psychics that keep getting caught up because they're not really psychics. They don't even know the different degrees of what it means to be a psychic. Some of y'all are psychics. You've been reached out to. You probably didn't know what it was. You seen signs. You just probably didn't know what those signs were. You ask for things to move and they move. You ask for help and you get help. You don't know yet if that means you have a psychic connection with the programmers of this game. I told you, this is the year of computer science. You have to know how to calculate now. No. All right? Know how to calculate. All the other people doing what they're doing, don't matter. You see people getting lost up in and lost in that, don't matter. Learn how to calculate. Watch and peep game before something happens. That means that you become one of those who can make certain predictions. Prediction is just a scientific way of saying prophecy. You see? So you can predict, you can start seeing things before it happens. Say, okay, based off of this trajectory, I know that's going to look like that by the time next week is here. And people say, oh, you must be some kind of mystical prophet. No, I'm calculating numbers. That's what it is. A prophet can calculate numbers or they'll get a message. Either way, you have to be able to have that degree accessible. Whether you can get a message or you can calculate. You can't be one of the laymen that's just walking around, you know what I'm saying, twiddling their thumbs and wasting time. So when you see me, you see me, but you don't see me. I told you wouldn't see me. You don't see me how you think you see me. You unsee me. And when you unsee me, you need to unsee me, you need to unlearn me. Everything you think you know, you need to be into the unknown now. Everything you think you see, you need to be in the unseen. Once you undo the degrees that they gave you and unprogram what they programmed you, you reprogram. What I mean, they as in those who came before you, not no mystical Illuminati spirits. I'm talking about your ancestors and their decisions. They programmed you before anybody on a telegram or a television or a phone or a radio, before anybody outside, external could program you to do anything. You already had your structures present. And you already had the certain resonance that you would be on present. You already had certain tendencies in the being. Okay, so when certain sounds were exposed to your body, certain genes said it's our turn to activate. Before you had lactose present in certain parts of the body, activated to a certain degree, they were dormant. Okay, the polymerase didn't need to activate it. But the reason why it did is because you ate cheese for the first time. And when you ate cheese for the first time, you changed your entire genetic alignment. And that will happen anything we do, anytime. This is why the fasting is something that brings you back to your central self. That's why fasting reverses the aging. Fasting takes out illnesses. And it doesn't mean something you got to take no super long fast. You can fast for 24 hours and there still be a shift and change because the body is able to repair itself. You see? So your reprogramming is literally just that. You know that there has been programming, so you have to go in and do it again. You see? So when you see things in the news that are causing for people to flip out and lose their mind and worry, you'll realize you're not a part of that anymore. And it feels good. I'm telling some people who came to me, they're not worried about the things that they used to be worried about. The things in the world, people send me stuff. You'll notice I don't speak on some of the things. Y'all send me certain things to speak on. I don't speak on it because what's the point? That's something that's a distraction. And not a distraction from something, oh, this is really going on. No, a distraction from what is, who is, why is really going on. Your being. Everybody tapping into everything else but that aspect. The aspect that the real programmers that programmed you to do this and that and the third were the ones who came before you. What are you doing about when you trying to find out about the elite and the Illuminati and how to stop the government? What are you doing about the government and the elite and the Illuminati that predates you right before you arrive? Your mother and your father, what are you doing about that? What are you doing about their genes inside of you? What are you doing about that? What are you doing about your grandfather, your grandmother? What are you doing about that? Do you know how to take and splice genetics? You want to say, okay, let me show you how to splice genetics in real time. The next time you get an urge to do something. I'm not talking about you hungry so you really eat. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about you sleepy so you really sleep. I'm not talking about you have hormones so you really indulge in a sexual. I mean, when you get an urge, and everybody know what an urge is. An urge is like a craving. They'll say this is something you're being pulled from whatever placement you were. You're being displaced to go in a direction of whatever that satisfaction would be. The next time you get an urge, delay it. Delay and ignore the urge. And that is reprogramming. Every time you do that, the brain says, wait a minute. Oh, so these genes may not be necessary. And the more you do that, the more the brain says, I think I get what's happening. We don't need those genes. When you turn down the cheese, the gene says, so what, we ain't doing lactose? I'm telling you what's really happening. Don't take my word for it. Go check it out for yourself. Go, just like Dr. Melikazi York taught me. You go look into it and you'll see the genes communicate. based off of what's happening in their environment. And they write each other and they send messages. Those are the real scripts or scriptures. You have scripture in your body. You understand? You have real prophets in your bloodline. You know what prophet means? Prophet means anybody who spoke before you. That's a prophet. So when they speak, it becomes word law, written down, not just verbal or oral. At that point, it becomes written tradition. And written tradition is written as genes, or what they call scripts, that's transcribed literally. Genetic production leads to transcription. Messenger RNA. You're looking for angels outside of the body. Yes, they exist. And then you have angels inside of the body. They're called messengers. And you got all different types of messengers in the body, chemical messengers in the body. You understand, neurologically speaking, you got the genetic messengers in the body. There's your messenger RNA. You got all kinds of messengers operating inside of the body. Okay, so you got messengers, you got scripts, you got transcripts, you got words, you got information, you got genes storing that information, passing on the information for generation. And the more you learn about you from taking that steering wheel and paying attention to your urges and your tendencies and what you do and what you won't do, the more you'll learn how to operate and navigate the plane. You'll reprogram yourself to become superhuman, meaning beyond whatever it was that you were at the basis level. So if you were genetically programmed to have the tendency to become an alcoholic and then you decide I'm not going to drink, then you just reprogrammed yourself. If everybody in your family before you had a short temper and you decide to learn how to breathe and work on you just genetically reprogrammed yourself to no longer have a short temper. There are so many different things that people could be doing, working on themselves. That's the real enemy. The enemy is in your genes. You fighting yourself daily. You think it's just a habit. It's not a habit. Some part of you is trying to live itself out through you. Okay? Your ancestors are in your genes, attempting to live through you still. And I think people think ancestors means good people. You got bad people in your genes. You got evil, wicked deeds programmed in your bloodline. I think everybody becomes spiritual and they think that means holy. And they think holy means good. Holy don't mean good. Okay? If Lucifer or Hasatan, the opposition of any movement, becomes the ultimate Lucifer, if the devil becomes the ultimate devil, then he is holy. He is right and exact. He is complete. If his nature is to be an evil being, and he becomes more and more of the evil being, and he maximizes in that potential, then he's holy. And the same for the one who is moving with determination to become a holy being as an agreeable being, a good being, as opposed to he maximizes in his potential. You see? So you have evil beings in your genetics. Evil deeds recorded. Somebody in your family did some evil things before you got here. And those things can creep through in your genes. Or not even just always evil or heinous. Just some things that could cause for you not to evolve. All right? So an angel would know an angel. What does that mean? It means that just as sure as there are no bounds, okay, I could travel out, I could travel in. I can reflect on any thought and decide whether or not that thought and what type of foundation would allow for that thought can even stay. I can evict a thought or I can evict that which allows for the thought. You see what I'm saying? Let me show you. All right, I'm going to say the words pink elephant. Now you see it, right? Pink elephant, pink elephant, pink elephant. And while I'm saying pink elephant, I want you to focus on anything else. All right? And you have to focus on that until you no longer see the image of the pink elephant. Pink elephant. As long as you can still see the pink elephant, you're not overriding anything. It's still functioning. The subconscious plane is very powerful. As a pink elephant. That's another thing that people that are advancing in those degrees are figuring out by the day. You have to really be cautious of what you're listening to. You have to really be cautious of what you're watching. You have to be really cautious of who's around you. You got to be really cautious of what people are saying, what they're doing. You have to really be cautious of these types of things if they're interacting with your plane in any way. And because of these phones, Pink Elephant, and how people are on them all the time, then so many different realms are overlapping. We're taking in things to the subconscious that we wouldn't have regularly or usually taken in as human beings. You understand that? So that Pink Elephant is crossing over so many different realms to get to where you at. So many different airways to get to where you are from where I'm at. You see? So this is the real matrix overlapping on itself. It's that ability to override the subconscious. When you see something and hear something, listen, I don't watch horror movies for that same reason. For that same reason, I don't play around. And another thing I did is I fucked around and watched that Obsession movie because I knew who the guys was. That's a bad idea. I knew those guys from watching them grow up on their content. I'm like, oh, this is going to be some funny shit. Man, they warp so much shit into that. I'm like, yeah, this is why I don't watch horror movies. I will not be watching Insidious or none of that because there's so many different things programmed into it. When your job is to scare someone, you're going to put thought into how to activate the plane of fear. Yes, there's a plane of fear. There's a plane of joy. There's a plane of sadness. There's a plane of happiness. And each of those planes warp around you 24/7. Just what I'm saying is somebody just walked past me. It's not somebody, but some being just walked past, but it's regular. You know what I'm saying? There's so many planes active around you 24/7. And when you start tapping into particular planes, that's what it's in emotion. Energy in motion. And these energetic planes are accessible just based off of thought alone. You see? So remember when I put it in the book, what was it, Rehab? The Insidious book? About the Insidious movie that they were putting out, the Red Door, all of that. I said, don't watch these horror movies. These horror movies are programming people. So when they finally do have the ability to access certain things like lucid dreaming and astral projection, it's like their type of experience has already been dictated. It's already been programmed. You got to reprogram that. You see, now, those of you who were listening to drill music and stopped, I bet you don't have as much anxiety as you used to. Those of y'all who were watching pornography and stopped, I bet you don't have as much anxiety as you used to. I bet you're more focused. That don't mean it was easier for you because you thought you were addicted to pornography. You were not addicted to pornography. What you were addicted to was figuring a way out of stressful situations or whatever it is that you might have been dealing with. Substituting it and escaping. Pornography wasn't the addiction. Well, because you stopped, I bet you're experiencing more, less anxiety and more confident peace and more confidence in who and what you are. It's like you're not being pulled away. But it also can cause for those demons inside, when you find out you go deep enough that demon inside is your great-great-grandfather. You see what I'm saying? You're looking for some demon that look like horns of great-great-grandfather. That's your great-great-great-grandmother is a demon in your family. And the things that she was doing caused for structures in your genes to be manipulated to a point that now it's harder for you to rectify it. That's a demon inside. You see, there's a lot of people looking outside. Now, are there demons outside? Absolutely. But that's why I tell you the law of correspondence teaches that it's both. As within, so without. You have to understand the within and the without, the above and the below. You see, I'm going to give you another thing. You ever been in a dream? And while you're dreaming, everything is all smooth and cool and dandy. And then all of a sudden, the dream just shuts off. I mean, not like it ends. You know, dreams end and then you wake up and you transition over here. I mean, the dream shut off like boom. And you were back over here. That was a plane that just imploded on itself. You were in that plane and it imploded. It is real. Some people have to see it in different ways. But it's a real thing. Or you'll be operating, some of y'all, if you reach this degree, you'll know. If not, then you probably won't get this part. But you'll be operating in a waking plane and walking around and moving around regular. And then the pressure shifts. Who experienced that? And what do you mean by pressure shift? Like, you'll know what I mean. Meaning the pressure in everything just changed. Okay? Well, then there could have been a rupture in whatever that realm was you were prior to that shift. And you could have been taken to another part of that realm where you can still function on the timeline that you have. For one, so you don't lose your mind. Because human beings operate linearly. Most human beings operate linearly. So you take somebody from their time, they'll lose their fucking mind. So there might have been a seeding or a snip or a cut, and then you will put back in. If you want to know how you can compare that to see that that's a possibility, I'm not telling you to believe me, is if you were to take an AI video, all right, and take a still shot out of that AI video and go in and make another video continuance. What'll happen when it renders it, it'll change it just a little bit. So the lighting will change. It'll be a little different than the original. If you do that and you keep doing that and you keep taking a clip from the change and a clip from the change and a clip from the change and you run it again 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 and you keep taking clips from the ones that you rendered newly, what'll happen is the newer reality that you'll be looking at will be a lot different. And so because of the fact that they don't jump you like that, all right, and people don't jump like that, and planes, when they do implode, most of the time it's happening on them subconscious planes. They don't really jump, but sometimes it does happen. You just don't know. How would you know if the mind that you have now or the brain you have now is hooked up to the realm itself, which is operating consciously? You won't know. Because of that, when it changes, the most you'll probably notice is a pressure shift. Let me give you something else, though. It's not always just a pressure shift. Let me give you a scenario that might activate memory. You ever been making plates for your siblings or for your family and you made an extra plate? Okay? You ever okay, I'm not trying to, I don't know if it's maybe these are different degrees. This is what I was raised up learning about. We learned about so much. We learned about how there's beings that come to fuck with you. If you know for sure you put your phone on your dresser. You see, and you walk around looking for the phone and you done looked on the damn dresser. But then you go back to the dresser and it's right there. You see what I'm saying? We would talk beings like them Dewanis would do that. They'll snatch your shit and watch you look for it because it's funny to them. And then they'll put it back just to see you go back and find it. And that's the punchline for them. Like, that's hilarious for them. And you wouldn't know it because you can't see them. They operate out of the plane. You see, but they can enter into the plane to operate temporarily to move something that's yours. And people really be thinking they losing their mind. Say, I know I put it right. You did. You actually did. And someone reached in, grabbed your shit, and watched you look for it. And then when you figured out that you were going to give up, they put the shit right back where the fuck you had it. And you found it there, and you looking around trying to see, yo, what the fuck? How is this possible? So, okay, you ever made a plate for someone that wasn't there? You made plates for everybody in your family, but you made an extra one. Not because you miscounted. You had to count right, but you made an extra one. Like you made a plate for somebody who didn't actually exist here, right? Okay, that's one thing. You ever been in the living room with your family and you look around and say, yo, somebody missing, but wasn't nobody missing? It's because somebody missing. But you have to look at what I'm really saying. They can't teach these degrees. They don't have them. All right? You have to look at what I'm really saying. The reason why somebody's missing is because they are missing. But you wouldn't know that they're missing. You would only have a memory etched in. You got to watch the movie called Replica. All right? Because you're still dealing with science. So if I take cancer out of the body, I could leave some there if I don't know what I'm doing. All right? Or if I make a mistake. Because you're still dealing with science and scientists with certain type of technologies and splicings and programmings. So if you have a programming, you have a programmer. And that programmer has to be on his A game in order for the program to run properly. And if the program does not run properly because either the programmer wasn't on his A game or something took place within the program, they call that a what? A glitch. And glitches happen all the time. There's a glitch called deja vu. There's a glitch called, hey, somebody missing. There's a glitch called, wait a minute. It's 5 o'clock. It was just 11 a.m. How is it 5 o'clock? There's a glitch called, wait a minute. How does it look like 6 p.m. and it's 7 a.m.? There's a glitch. There's so many glitches in the realm, but because of the regularly scheduled, what they call it? Programming that people get right back to, it's like it never happened. You see? So watch the movie Replica and watch the movie Dark City. While I watch the movie Replica, Because although he took, the scientist took out the memory of the daughter who died in the crash after he remade his family, okay, and injected their memories into them, after he took that memory out, there's still the emotional plane that operates that can activate certain memories. Okay, then you got muscle memory, all kinds of different types of memory. The brain isn't the only thing that registers memory. There's certain things that are registered in the body. You understand? Of course, the brain's a part of the body. So according to what happened in the movie, she started to experience certain things, remembering that she had a daughter. You see? And those experiences bring out those memories. So you might just be doing something that you do regularly, but because of that regularly scheduled programming overlapping with a previous regularly scheduled programming, you say, wait a minute, we always eat lunch here at this time, but somebody's missing. Because whatever timeline you would have been on prior to that shift, they did eat lunch with you, but now they no longer exist. So you're like, well, then who is it that's missing? You will never know who it is that's missing. You will only know that they're missing. So because of that, the brain doesn't register that makes sense. So it pushes it to the subconscious plane. Now, that same subconscious plane might have shown you who was there. I don't know. Y'all let me know when I'm supposed to stop, because I'm telling you, I'm loaded. The subconscious plane might have shown you who was there. When you had that dream about that sibling who ain't really your sibling. You had a dream about the family member that ain't really no family member. But it's like you played with them like that's your real sibling. And they was a part of the family. You was with them like they was your real homeboy, but you don't know this motherfucker. But yes, you do, just in a different part of the realm, a different coordinate you were operating from at that time on the time belt. Okay? So if you're still operating within the bounds of the program, they can move you wherever and program whatever point of the program. You see? So when that happens, you'll lose memory of what took place on the prior coordinate, unless they want you to remember. Yeah. If they want you to remember, then you will remember. You see what I'm saying? So there's some people get memory, you say, wait, it's all coming back to me. You ever heard people say that? In the movie, it's all coming back to me, because it is all coming back to them, but it's registered there. And because you already have any experience as someone who is on that plane, the memory is already logged. It's just untapped. You see, it's the same thing with people waking up. When you wake up, you tap into that memory. You see, they say, remember who you are. Yeah, wake up and remember who you are. How long have you been in the cycle that you're in? How long? Think about it. How long have you been in the cycle that you're in now? Do you think you know the cycle that you're in now? Do you think you know who you are right now? How many siblings do you have? What's your mother's name? What's your father's name? Huh? What time is it right now? How tall are you? How tall have you always been? Do you really like that type of food? Have you always liked that type of food? And I'm not talking about you just grow up and it's like, okay, now things change. I mean, do you really know whether or not you're the you that you were before I started to speak right now? And that's the real science. So then how do you maintain your identity? By letting go of your identity. That's how you maintain it. Go and watch the movie by Jet Li movie, The One. Go watch The One. Letting go of your identity is the only way you could truly hold on to an identity if you're one of the masters. Now, in this boundless degree, you done already broke past a lot of the visible light. You know, you went ultraviolet, X-ray. Now you're playing a boundless game. So your time belt within the time belt, which is your soul being, is going to spin differently. It's going to activate differently. You're going to look at things differently. And you're going to notice something, that there are rewards that come with this degree. There are perks. Let me tell you some of the perks that come with this degree so you'll have them. All right? Because you're moving like angels now and masters. Here goes some of the perks that come with this degree. All that manifestation shit, visualization shit that these people be acting like they understand. If you really made it, it's active now. If you made it this far, But yeah, better start playing with this shit. Start doing all the stuff that these people been trying to act like they own. And watch the realm bend to you. You see? Because you one of the masters. It's like walking through in an establishment and you're a celebrity. You one of the stars now. So it's going to bend to you. Hey, let them through. If it don't register, don't register. If it don't resonate, don't resonate. But I'm telling you, this shit really like that now. You know what I'm saying? If you all you trying to figure out if it's going to move. It's going to move as soon as you decide that you're ready for it to move. You see, if you think you trapped up or something not moving, you got to stand up. You got to remember. But if they say, oh, he still need a guy. He still needs somebody to do it for him. He still need this. If they see that, then they're going to handle you like a child. And they'll put it on their own time whenever. But if you saying you want this to happen, you need this to move, you got to stand up and declare it. Declare and decree that it move. And just make it move. And walk like it already happened. You ever seen the star, the NBA star that shoots the ball and then walks off before the ball go in? That's how you got to move. If you ain't moving like that, then you ain't on the boundless degree. Everything is accessible. And the reason why it's like that is because we know you're not going to abuse it. You see, now you really have the pen in your hand. We know you ain't going to abuse it. You don't have to explain it to us. We trust you. You see? But if we're not talking to you, all this shit going to sound like Spanish if you don't speak it. You see what I'm saying? It's going to sound like a foreign tongue. Only those who have the ear to hear, eye to see, going to be able to get this. So if those of you who've been making it through these degrees have arrived to the point that I'm thinking you arrived to, your blessing should already be here. It should already be here. You try to figure out why stuff already moving. Like, how this happened like that? How did it happen like that? Don't question it. Just keep going. Don't question it. Keep going. And you're going to realize that while your platforms are going to build, okay, your abundance is going to stretch. The things around you are going to start making more sense. All right? What you would have thought, say, okay, it's going another fight is coming, another fight is coming. But they're giving you all the things that you need for the fight. You see that? You're going to realize that. And then you see what's happening in their world out there. Their world is getting shook up. The industry shook up. The rappers are shook. They don't even know what type of music they can drop now. You see what I'm saying? You really don't have nobody popping off no more how they used to pop off. I told you that was coming. You see? Atlanta just got hit with a spell. I don't know where it came from. All I know is when God says something, God mean it. You see? Atlanta got hit hard as hell to the point where niggas don't even know what it is. So I know y'all see what been happening. And all I'm going to say is, back in the day, I used to say a lot of stuff and say what was going to happen and tell people how certain things were going to occur. And you had to be there. Now it's like, ain't even no reason for me to keep saying, I told you what the fuck to expect. Ain't no reason to, because you had to be there. So now I tell you, this world don't really know what to expect and why certain things happen how they happen. Well, I'll explain it when it comes to it. Certain things I'm not explaining no more. Now I'm telling people, I told you. But I'm telling people about my action of the other side of it. When you see this happen, then this will happen. So when people just stuck on the event, they're not looking at what happens with it. What happens? I say, you see the industry fall, watch for phase one's pillar. It's going to rise. But I could have been lying. I could have just been running my fucking mouth. And I could have never went nowhere. You know, there are people that I came up around in the whole content Instagram wave. The people that had like 18,000 followers, they still got 18,000 followers. Those people that was, you know what I'm saying, making little videos here, making little videos there, they still making little videos here, making little videos. They didn't go anywhere. And I was telling them how to do it, and they didn't listen. I was showing, I gave blueprint after blueprint after blueprint. They didn't listen. The wise ones grabbed hold of it. I created a whole new internet out here. They grabbed hold of it and started doing it. Yeah, the other ones, they stayed where they was at. So I could have stayed where I was at if I wasn't who I say I am. So we got every sign that we need to see, yeah, this one's the real one. You know what I'm saying? Meaning he's really who he say he is. He going to move that way. He going to pop that way. And what they going to be able to do to stop it. So get ready, because you're in the boundless degree. Now, Gamma, you're in it. You see, all these things happening for a reason. You know what I mean? Don't forget what it's about. I told you. Don't forget what it's about. Don't forget who it's about. All right? Don't forget the master. I don't know what these people out there doing, all the people in them groups, in them cliques. I'm saying don't forget the master. You know what I mean? You want to know about Yanun? I'm telling you, like how I told everybody else who came close enough, just ask. I'm not saying ask me. I'm saying ask. You know how you walk outside and you see something on your porch and you don't know why it's on your porch? And you say, what the fuck? You see how you ask that out loud? You ask, what the fuck? Okay, you want to know about Yanun, why you don't just ask? Ask out loud. Who dares? Don't be scared now. You want to know, you want to really understand about how this shit move. Why don't you ask for signs? And then deal with the sign. Yo, if I'm not supposed to go, let somebody knock on my door that look like this, or got this, or let a visitor come. A visitor come, don't be still going and then worried about what happened when you get there. You want to play this game, you start dealing with the unseen. Eventually, the unseen becomes the real vision. And then this place gonna look foggy. All right. Let me play this shit for y'all. So I'm about to drop this. I gotta drop the song, though. I ain't dropped the song yet.
Don't you know I see you, don't you know? Don't you know I see you, don't you know?
It's your heart.
However could they shame you? You's a good girl, made it out Atlanta. Straight out the hood, girl, focus on your business. Pay off your car note and live in they mansions. One day that's a mansion, he knew what he had, love. Don't go back, y'all, no to make you sad, love. Get your bag, love, somebody gon' be for you. Keep out the streets for you, somebody gon' keep it true. Somebody gon' reach for you, they just posting content. They ain't on shit, they ain't on shit. Real world, for a real girl. You's a real girl, full anxiety. You aspiring, I know that you got hired. You was gon' pound and buy, I know it's getting louder now. Do you know just how? Girl, living in the ghetto as well. This world, oh, yeah. In the ghetto as well. Living in this ghetto, yeah. They gotta keep up with you. They gotta keep up with you. They gotta keep up with you.
Yeah. That's gonna be more difficult to distinguish between a year from now. It's gonna be difficult.
Don't you know I see you, don't you know? Don't you know I see you, don't you know? Okay. However could they shame you? You's a good girl, made it out Atlanta. Straight out the hood, girl, focus on your business. Pay off your car note and live in they mansions. One day that's a mansion, he knew what he had, love. Don't go back, y'all, no to make you sad, love. Get your bag, love, somebody gon' be for you. Keep out the streets for you, somebody gon' keep it true. Somebody gon' reach for you, they just posting content. They ain't on shit, they ain't on shit. They ain't on shit, highlight ain't the real world. Fuck a real girl, you's a real girl. Post this as a real girl, moments of anxiety. Cause you aspiring, I know that you got higher dreams. I know this shit get tiring. I know that you ain't smiling a while. I know them bills gon' pile and die. I know the noise getting louder now. Do you know just how much I'm just a girl living in the ghetto as well. Living in this ghetto ass world. Oh no, you just a girl living in the ghetto ass world. Living in this ghetto ass world. Oh no, they gotta keep up with you. They gotta keep up with you. They gotta keep up with you. They gotta keep up with you.
All right, I'm gonna drop that soon. I got some more stuff on the way. Everybody who's still rocking, I thank you for that. Just be ready. Like I told you, they loud, they played, they finna see something. This shit finna get real fast. Y'all know my birthday coming up September 20th. So long as I'm still breathing, still here, I'm telling you, it's about to go down. Be ready. Be ready. Any questions? Y'all let me know y'all got questions. If not, then another time. What's the questions? Which dimension do I vibrate the best on? If you can understand it, I vibrate the best in the dimension where it's just myself. I'm seated, but I'm by myself. Like it's somewhere, like streaming. That's home. Acceptance and no attachment, like that's home. What should one do when they notice they experienced a glitch? Note it. That's what you did do, what you need to do. You noticed it and note it. Can you explain what that clock on t-shirt means? I am explaining it. So I'll tell you this, by January 1st, if you have the endurance, you'll understand what it is. Because even for you to say a clock, some people probably wouldn't have thought that. It depends on what what somebody wants to see for one, and then what they're able to learn. You got to endure it or to learn it. Because there's going to be some things that come with it. They ain't the only ones, a few other things that I ain't completely rolled out. But that's one of the main symbols. So you have to be able to see without seeing it. What's some things you notice about it? Did you count the dashes? Did you pay attention to the rotation? Do you see where it is? Do you see a word in it? Can you find a name in it? You know what I'm saying? There's certain things that you have to look at. And all of that went into the production of it. This is really an older symbol. I came out with this symbol in a book. I can't remember what book it was, though. It might have been X Marks the Spot or Nothing Versus Everything. It was one of the books. I put a few symbols in there, though. I put a lot of symbols in my books that you'll see come out later. It wasn't time for it, but it was just for you to be able to see it, and I told you what it was. Boundless. It might have been Nothing Versus Everything. Because that one in the, Nothing Versus Everything. It was that one, and that, yeah, nothing versus everything was super advanced. I put the equal fixer on there. The equal fixer was another one of the symbols. That's a centering symbol. I put the WH2O, the who, which really who is times who, who times two, who is who. Zero on the energy plane. What else? It was something else. I explained logarithm, of course. The true zero symbol, if you remember, what was it? I'm gonna show you. I did the true zero symbol. There's a few things I put in here. I explained Ashe, the all-seeing eye, A-S-E, Ashe, noon, none, noon, nine, known, at Zilut, near to God, absolute, Amen, Ashe, so be it, so be it, so be it, Neteru, Uriten, Urit, God is my light, Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm bringing this shit down. Soviet Council, Neteru, Advising Council, Advise, Optimal Site, Count, Sealing, Count, Seal, Eve, Abba, 1, 2, Ab, Salute, Absolute, 12, Noon, yep, Ashe, I say, I see, all seeing I. Yeah, these were the days. The Boundless book on the way, so be ready. But these were the days. Coming out with them books, back to back, explaining all this shit. That's what a lot of people lost. They never read it. They never read the books. So they didn't understand it. The knowing, although unknown, if it were to be known, would know itself. Phase 1. As a young man, even to this day, because of my sharp intellect, many people used to say things like, you think you know everything, or you will know it all. After a while, I stopped taking it personal. Their remarks were only a reflection of my knowing a lot, and that bit of knowing a lot is irritating their souls, or the spirits, those spirits being their own incompetence and inadequacy. I never claimed to know all things, or to be even nearly associated with the all-knowing. I do not, in this moment, see how it would even be possible for a being in human form with the human lifespan to obtain omniscience. True omniscience does not appear to be obtainable. To know all is to grasp infinity. In order to know all things, one would have to know every second of all time, as well as what each second would bring. It is bringing and has brought are one. In order to achieve omniscience, know every atom, and one must understand every particle of command. To know all is to bound the boundless. Understand boundlessness. Boundless. Within that vast expanse of nothingness, profound, where that mutinous rules bring no echo nor sound. There tells the truth, a void, be it a formless ocean of black, where space and time lose shape, never to form back. Nothing, by phase 1. Yeah, I was explaining this stuff. I guess it wasn't time for people to get it yet. This is a good book, though. for sure. This broke a lot down. When I came out with this, it was 2024. No amount of slander would deter the anointed. I beat a lot of people to the punch. I had a song that I wrote when I was maybe 15 years of age. The song was called Stones. This was the cover art. The song begins with an audio from a scene phenomenon with one of the characters called Doc, the doctor of a small town in which an unlikely event or phenomenon took place with one of the residents, George Malley, a common man, a worker, and farmer. One night, George Malley encountered a UAP, unexplained aerial phenomenon, that shined some sort of bright light that caused him to be affected in some way, a way that made it be that he advanced far beyond the average human being. His advancements included telekinesis, memory enhancements, etc. The people became fearful of him. They began to hate him and attack him and call him crazy. The doctor who was investigating his condition was of the rare few who did the opposite, encouraging him along the way, trying to help him figure more out about what he was going through. The scene in the beginning of the song starts out with an audible question. Why did you have to tear him down? People cast stones at things that shine. Do you want to know something? Surely you do. That's why you're here. This is one of the main reasons that many of the otherworldly beings do not make contact with human beings. They are unpredictable, especially when they become afraid. And because the unknown is the cause of the fear of human beings, unknowns introducing themselves to the most unpredictable beings would be a great risk of danger, as, again, people cast stones at things that shine, meaning things that give off a light that those stone-casting people are unaware about or unable to identify with. What sense would it make for one who also shines to cast stones at others who shine? Unless, of course, there is a fear that the person who shines may somehow outshine them. Do realize that just because one might outshine another does not mean that that one who is outshone must in turn feel as though they have been attacked. They do not have to respond out of fear, yet they do. This is how they do those who shine. They will make up lies on you. It's like, do I even got to read this shit? It's like crazy. It's crazy. How would one fully embrace their angelhood respectfully? How do you see the line between rightfully moving and overestimating your capabilities or connection? Well, this is just that simple. The way that you embrace your angelhood is you just embrace it. You embrace it. And that's the best way that I can explain it at this degree. You just have to embrace it. You have to stand that way and move that way. Certain things you won't be able to do anymore because of that. You have to do a lot more self-talk because of that. You know what I'm saying? Accountability is going to have to increase because of that. Angels have a higher role. Higher role means higher responsibility. Okay? They will make up lies on you for apparently no reason at all. You, as one of the chosen, may find yourself confused as to how many people switched up on you out of the blue. You face much more than just rumors. They often go as far as trying to get you arrested. Or they may move to have your businesses shut down, or they may seek to stop your income. If people like you, they will try to find a way to magnify what they see as a flaw of yours. And they will thwart that so-called flaw with hopes that not only others will see it as a flaw, but also with hopes that you feel exposed and lose confidence due to the magnification of that flaw. They are afraid to face you alone. They have to team up or even recruit others to attack you. This shit is like prophecy, bro. That's fucking crazy. This is 2024. This is before 2025. If and when your name is brought up around them, they will attempt to cause others to doubt your light. They will say things like, oh, her? Yeah, you don't know how she really is. No one wants to be a fool, and these deceivers know that. And they play on that. No one wants to be wrong about someone. And so as soon as doubt or dirt is cast, many would much rather pull away from or disassociate themselves from you, all in the name of trying to find comfort. It is much more comfortable for someone to not have to find out the truth than it is to find out the truth. If y'all read my books, a lot of y'all probably would have still made it. A lot of these people would have made it. I'm not saying like y'all, like everybody who might hear this. I was like people who came around. If people were actually reading the books, maybe they would have made it. I don't know. I ain't trying to sound self-righteous. I'm just saying I was putting the shit in the books. They will try to team up with you to beat you. The most strategic of the snakes do this. They want to get closer to you to maybe find out what makes you shine the way you shine. It never dawns on them that you shine the way you shine because you shine the way you shine. And that by them trying to shine like you, they're only denying their own light. They would do well not to try to shine like you, but to focus on what light they have so that they can shine like you. Once they figure out what makes you shine, they try to tear it out of you and keep it for themselves. Chosen ones, orators, be extra cautious of anyone who was close enough to stab you in the back. Read it again. Chosen ones, orators, be extra cautious of anyone who was close enough to stab you in the back. They will try to play down your greatness. The snakes might swear up and down that you are doing sorcery or witchcraft, or that you had sex with many men to obtain your position, or that you are only a man of words and no action. Why do these disagreeables do this? They feel there is no consequence. The hate eats them alive from the inside out, yet they are unaware of its doing so. So they continue, and they ultimately, oftentimes, even physically become sicker and sicker. Many die a hater, literally. Just like Rakaz, you may walk how you walk because it is in you to do so, and may be hated for that very reason. Make no mistake about it. The snakes do see your light. It is that light that irritates them the most. It is the primitive nature of these beings that causes them to seek to destroy those who shine. You are doing your job on duty, and they are doing their jobs. Remember, the dragon does not prevail, but we must work. This may mean that even when you are shunned, you shine regardless and do the things that was or were put on your heart to do. Chosen ones leave absolutely positively nothing up to chance. There is no chance for chosen ones or aiders that they may be able. You are able. It was Abel who was the agreeable one out of the two who were Cain and Abel. Abel was an agreeable or a good being, or a Tob or Toby. The question is not of chance, but of choice. The question is of whether or not you, all of you heroes or herus who know our voice when we speak and can thus hear us and choose and will choose to be Toby or not to be. To be not Toby is to be Ra'ah, or a disagreeable or evil in nature, as far as which nature is dominant in that being. We on this walk are choosing to be. If it is to be, then so mote it. Now you see, conquer your might being the doubt in your mind that you can prevail. Become almighty and be prepared to walk with God Almighty. There will be times when things may not make sense to you. Learn to be patient. Master the art of the long game. Here is yet another gem. When you say long game, you are saying in tone, long game. Learn to pause for a second and just inhale, exhale. It is a long game. To play in this game, remind self that this is not a game of luck or chance. You determine where you go. You decide how your life plays out in this major scale. That is, of many lives having already playing out, and have yet to play out. The sacred behind determination is hidden in the word. Watch this. Only I myself, save the unseen plan of the Most High, can deter my nation. Determination, deter my nation. Nation, native, Navi, navy, naval, novel, water, life. I have a purpose. And when it comes to purpose, nothing will be able to determine. I determine the faith of my life. Everything is up to me, save what is not up to me. And yet I am in the all that it is ultimately up to. These are affirmations of determination. You can write these down and place them on your walls, in your home or otherwise. You are in control. Never leave things up for chance or change. The next big step is to surrender. Then once you figure out about all of your truest might and you become almighty, surrender to the almighty of all, the most high, the divine, that which you seek but do not know, that which is both everything and nothing. Surrender. Those who fail to surrender to the will of divine now will surely do so in the end. Surrender holds the two words sure, and end in it. Is it not a truth that our lives as these human beings we are functioning as or in the form of are sure to end? To surrender to divine, the truth known and unknown, the sound nature of all is no weak deed. Yeah. So I spoke about, what was that? That went into the harmonic convergence. Yeah, man, I put a lot of this stuff in the books. All they had to do was read. The dragon will not prevail. Until we speak again, and that will be soon. I love you all. Peace in the Lamb is truly wonderful. One day it'll all make sense. Now, what if I would have stopped? If I would have stopped, then you'd be like, what day? I'm still walking. One day it'll all make sense. I'm transforming in front of you. One day it'll all make sense. It'd be crazy if I'm transforming and you don't transform. Like, what was the point? Why? What you walk for then? You're not in the business of trying to figure out who I am. You're in the business of figuring out who you are. You see? Everybody is given the opportunity. You saving your own genes. Everything you doing, you saving your bloodline. It's like every decision you making is being programmed in your genes. Be mindful of that, everybody. It might not mean anything to you now, but it will mean something further down the line. Literally, further down the line, lineage. See? So you want your reward. Think about your children's children. Look how far AI done came too. Look at the AI image of the UFO and the locks. Look how it got, you know what I'm saying? Like how it's etching, and look how far this shit done came. That's old. If I did this same image now, man, that shit look like a real person standing under UFO. Ain't been nothing but 2 years. So yeah, the Nothing versus Everything book had a lot of I can't say just one book. Damn near all of the books was telling the whole play. X marks the spot. These books are telling the whole play. 5 were wise, 5 were foolish. Do you understand? You know what I'm saying? As soon as it come in, all of you dedicated and willing torchbearers, read these words with your heart and minds open. A word from divine, a tone from all, called by many. God, I ask for this word for you. All who read these words and all who hear these words, let it be known in this moment, everlasting, the words of this scroll have not reached you by accident. Say to yourself that you might brace the soul for these words from divine. I am open to receive and envision that potent green light all about and around you. Take a deep breath and hold it for 9 seconds. Count those seconds up in your mind and then exhale. I do advise to all of you to hear me, for these words are true and faithful. Begin transmission. I want you all to know just how much I love you. You may not know me at all, or you may have only seen me over here or over there. You may have never spoken to me. We may have never spoken. This may be the first time you've heard my voice. How does it sound in your mind, in your brain? I wonder, where is my voice streaming from? Is it echoing around in the furthermost point of the left side of your brain, or is it reverberating about in the furthermost point of the right side of your brain? Either way, I have always found it quite interesting how human beings are able to hear sound in their brains. I also find it interesting that it has been said that not every person can hear that which is called the inner voice. Yeah, I didn't know that till like a few years ago. I thought everybody had the inner voice. Hear the inner voice. I find that hard to fathom personally. I have heard that voice all my life. And I simply cannot imagine how this life will be without it. And so, reader, I wonder if you can hear me. Even if you have never heard me speak before, you still may be able to hear that voice. Why? This is because that voice is a universal voice. It is, in all actuality, the voice of God. I wonder if you can hear God speaking. I can. That voice is indeed the voice that cries out in the silence. That voice can whisper, it can scream, it can sing, it can hum, it can mumble. Truly, it can move in either both the feminine and or the masculine frequency. Again, I wonder how I sound to you. I also wonder, how would you sound to me? How would you sound to me if you were to write me? What I am getting at here is that we are all collectively one voice. We are all one sound, connected by an infinite force, namely our approachlessness. The con is over, taking on many different forms, creating the grandest illusion that is individuality. We are all connected. I do not have to know you to love you. I want to talk with you more about my love for you. I love you so much that I am taking the time to literally write this letter to you. I am in this moment listening to the voice of God. I can hear the voice clearly. It keeps saying the word love. I am asking what is meant by this word love. The answer is clear. The answer is this word proceduration. I am hearing in this now, which is yet the now you will stand in to receive what I am hearing, to remind you about your soul. What a lost world that has forgotten. In this now, we are taken into consideration that you are in the flesh. The flesh is very forgetful. You have forgotten. Just because you don't have precious recollection does not mean that there does not, without a doubt, exist a memory of your divinity in your essence. I am here to remind you. We are considering your present state. We are considering that there is a portion of you that wants love. We are reaching out to that portion of you. Here is a task for you. Take a deep breath and hold it for 9 seconds. Before you exhale, visualize the color green. When you envision that color, smile. Think of how you felt in your happiest moments in life. Think of when you had no reason to be afraid of anybody or anything. Ponder about the reality of your innocence. You must know this truth. Without your innocence, you will not be able to reunite, become one uni with, again, your soul. The formula for being. Who are you? What are you equals why are you? Who are you plus what are you equals why are you? This is how you find the W-A-Y, way, back home, which is the tone Om. Listen, wise ones, to the voice of God. You may realize that it is actually your own voice. The voice is calling out to you. Know this truth, that he who is called in tone Omari will only be here for but a short time. Do you not know, just by the windy signs alone, that he has come many times before? Who does not know? Oh, let them know. He is here now, but not for long. Hear him. We are speaking to you through him. Hear us. We, the ones you call God, Elohim, are using Omari, called phase 1, to remind you once again. How do you know this? In the late shadow hours, while you were resting, he sat up and kept watch over you. He fell on his face in the night and prayed for more time with you, that you might be reminded once more. He cried of many tears like twinkling stars about you and your families and even his enemies, who surely have held a taste. He cried stars for them also. His music he did not write of his own accord. He gave us his pen and we did write. We, God, through his soul, wrote every lyric you ever heard. We are his ghost writers, yet we're not ghosts, but beings of light called Etherians or angels. We are his etheric writers and know that he, phase 1, does not produce a song of any kind without first prostrating his soul. Listen to his music. Pick any song. Surely he has been calling you all home. All of you together. Let the torchbearers, the wise ones, the holders of the rope know that we love all of you. Oh, let them all know that only the pure hearts will ascend. Pure hearts only. Love. We love you. I love myself. I love and appreciate the human experience. In this very moment, I can feel the love of divine. Very true, I tell you these words. Divine love is the key. Remember that the word divine is phonetically similar to the words the vine, which is the rope or the cord, which is also called the cable tow. Do go on and look in the holy book, the Quran, and read Surah chapter 3, ayah verse 103. And hold firm to the rope of Allah all together and do not become divided. And remember the favor of Allah upon you when you were enemies and he brought your hearts together and you became by his favor brothers and you were on the edge of a pit of fire and he saved you from it. You and I are to hold on to the rope all together. Is it not so that we are all a part of God's body? I love you. As I am writing this letter, I am 25 in years. I have only been here for 25 years only. My existence as Omari, called by Benny, phase 1, has not even been all of 3 decades. I, as I am to you right now, reader, am only but a flash in the pot, even as I am yet an infinite soul. That soul is in a flesh body in this moment. That body has a heart, kidneys, lungs, a liver, a brain. It is the brain that is in control, or the control center of the body. Without the brain, who am I? Without the brain, even if you knew the answer to the former question to be able to tell me the answer, how would I know to receive or to not receive your answer? How would I even fathom your response? Oh, when I make my transition, then do I live on through you? When you read these words, am I alive in that moment? As we are all connected, is not life as we know it an infinite phenomenon? Is not life everlasting? We are experiencing life through each other. I have no doubt in our minds, or we have no doubt in our minds that when you open this scroll and read these words, if it is meant, you will know that these words are charged with wisdom, patience, care, concern, and love. I want you to remember, reader, if you're able to, when you were a child. I want you to remember, reader, how it felt for you to learn how to draw a circle or a square for what you believe to be the first time. Think back on how it felt to write your first letter, which for most English-speaking people was the letter A. Go back in your mind and remember when you were first taught how to count from 1 to 10. Were not these moments bright and full of life and joy? Do you have it in you to be able to reactivate that youthful version of yourself? Could you muster up the mashia, a will in you to reform the adult brain, spawning or respawning that which is called your neuroplasticity? The answer is yes, if you are willing to care again. Your willingness to care actually aids in your ability to ascend. When you care about a subject, you may be more invested. And it's your being invested in a thing that heightens your senses, increasing the amount of information that is allowed to register in your brain. You can observe this when you witness the dilation of pupils of people who are beholding a thing that they admire or are either attracted to or interested in. Taking in more light when the pupil dilates allows for more details to be able to get through to the brain. Increased details registered amounts to increase retention or enhance memory. This is the type of mindset you must have in order to receive the downloads, the uploads, and the upgrades that are necessary for your ascension. This is what is meant by that saying, you must be born again. Oh, you must. If you were reached as a child, there are already upgrades that you have received. Do you know that it would have been easier to reach you in those days of your youth? As you grew older, you, the most of you, became less and less and less and less interested in the why of life. All of that pure curiosity begins fading for most people around the ages of 7 to 10. Right before the explosion of puberty, where the hormones activate, and without proper guidance, by the age of 16, that person will lose themselves. Most people are taught into settling and interchanging into the mold. There is an offer. Change your mind. Repent. You do not have to be selfish. Will you consider a homeless man or woman resting on the side of the street? Oh, you can take a small heap of seconds to care about them. Think back on how it feels when you help or have helped people in the past. Does it not feel like that is the way human beings are supposed to walk in their lives? Human beings have to learn to see each other and love each other, and they must be willing to look after each other. Human beings as a whole must decide on whether or not they even feel that they deserve to exist. Human beings must choose or conduct or, more importantly, elect themselves. Once they do, and if they do it with the truth, life, way in mind, there will be no force on, above, or beneath the earth plane that could cause them to fall, proving them, the human beings who fell, to be what the evil one wants them to be, which is unworthy. Have I not told you before that you are worthy? Oh, let it be known that the only one who could cause you to reject that truth is you. For you to be reading these words at this particular point in time, as you are after all this time and after everything you've been through, as a divine sign within it is a divine sign within itself. What are the odds? What are the evens? There is no coincidence. Perfect timing. All of the sciences and philosophies and ideologies and beliefs and religions of your ancestors are a part of you. The way you are taking in this information or these words depends on whether or depends upon whatever genetic foundation you either possess or don't possess. If you are able to hear us, you were destined to be able to hear us. We are not only speaking to you through colors, events, names, songs, birds, numbers, people, etc. Pay attention. Pay more attention. Pay even more attention. The more attentive you are, the better. The more present you are, the clearer our voices will be. Our voices are calling you home. Home in this regard is an ultimate and sound realization. That realization is that this mental plane or material plane, this material plane that you are currently experiencing is not the end all be all. Even though many do not reach that realization, their not being able to realize that truth is what causes them to neglect the responsibility to seek out that truth's purpose. That purpose serves as a motivator for one to be able to take the next steps up that ladder. Anyone who rejects or denies the true lights has only rejected or denied themselves, a version of themselves that they know not and could not have known without that true light being sent out into the world. Accept the journey of the seeker, if you will. Have you ever heard the story about the man who outran time? Me either. Do not fall into the trap. That is the illusion of experiencing forever while in this human form. Time, if anything, will outrun humanity. It will never, ever be the other way around. Why do I say this? I want you to keep in mind the fact that I have already let it be known the importance of time. Remember my song, a song that was released on the Blood of the Lamb album called We Had Time. That song is speaking from what is called the future, a tone that has called the now to attention. I am reminding you from the future about the future, which is the now, as it will be the now, not when you reach it, but when you realize it, and it has already been made real to me. No one will be able to escape the hands of time, save those who are able to endure unto the end. Oh, we have already seen that time has sped up. Do be cautious about your standing in this time or in these times. If time has sped up, so has your realm of existence heated up and expanded. Remember the time. Time and space are one. Where will you be in that day of standing? Will you be in the holy place, the shrine? Will you be centered with the hands of time turning about you? Will you be sorry for the wait? A dreadful day that would be. Will you be standing in the light? What does it mean to travel light? You must become lighter. How light? Lighter. Oh, hold on to that filament and be charged up with the spirit of righteousness, which is true balance. I have no doubt that if you just keep walking on, you will be led to become even lighter and then lighter, that you may rise. Very true, I say unto you, moving in righteousness will become second nature and then first nature. It will be so for us all. Know it to be true. The lighter you become, the lighter you will to be. That lightness and that will to increase in light will thus spread to all of the people you encounter. What a gift they will have. They will be able to say they were called. You will be responsible for calling them, just as I am responsible for calling you. Many are called. How many are elected? Remember the time. Pay attention to the signs of the times. You may notice that many have already started doing that. They will say, wow, it's 12:12, or oh, look, it's 1:44. On February 14th of 2024, the artist called Chris Brown released a music video to his song entitled Angel Numbers. The science of traveling light is shown therein. In the music video, Chris Brown was carrying a bag through the desert. This would be symbolic of the burning sands that all travelers have to cross in order to receive their higher degrees. Think of heat when you think degrees. As one increases in their degrees, they also increase in their temperature or their heat. They become hotter or electrified. All elite have endured this process in one way or another. Every traveler knows that they are supposed to travel light. What are you taking with you into your new life? You are Neo, which means you are on the journey as one to become new. Neo equals new. Oh, you cannot take the things of old along with you. As I viewed the music video, beholding Chris Brown carrying, mostly dragging, the bag across the sand, I immediately said to myself, that's too much weight. Eventually, Chris Brown had to let go of the bag as it was literally holding him back. His children were waiting on him, standing far away from him, facing him. He could not get to where they were whilst holding on to all of the baggage he collected over time. Note that this signifies that his children were light beings. They weren't carrying too much weight. They didn't have to wait any longer. Their time had come to rise, and his time would not have come if he was too heavy. You cannot outrun time. You want to be on time? Trust me. Or you want to be on time, trust me, so that when your time comes, when your space is prepared, you won't miss it. I pray in my heart right now that you are in the mental space to understand these words. Oh, let it be known that those chosen ones who are called, the 144,000, are to be redeemed from among men. Yes, but those 144,000 are not, the majority of them, adults. They are not, the most of them, men or women, but boys and girls. Why? Oh, let it be known that we have saved space for the innocent ones. Oh, but not many spaces there are, as there is not much time. There is still time, but there is not much. There is still space, but there is not much. Who will ascend? How or have you made your children collectible? Why would the wise sailor overwhelm his ship with dead weight? He does know the consequence of such folly, does he not? Oh, let it be known that we, speaking with you now, as Omari called phase 1, are the wise sailors, and we have no room for any dead weight. We are perfected through the cultivation of the minds of, as well as the preservation of the innocence of the children. All of you who have given birth to the children and those who participated in the yielding of children know that you are rebirthed through your children. It is not an important, or is it not an important goal of goals to be achieved that each generation grows stronger and wiser? Teach the children all about the world they are coming to. Or coming into. Teach the children that that world was built by people, as they too are people who were able-bodied and charged to survive to such an extent that they were able to generate whole realities within this realm of existence, as can they, the children. Remind the children that they do not have to accept any of the many traditional ways of life, religions, the ideologies, or the philosophies. Teach the children to love wisdom themselves, and they may reveal to the world that they are too philosophers. Philo, love, sophos, wisdom. Teach the children that wisdom, even as it is a single term, is a word of many appellations. With love in their heart, their centers, they will come to know her many names. They will know his many titles. Place before them the holy books, for they will need to know of them, as they were tools that were used to construct as well as deconstruct various realities. Expose the youth to the divine tones of 144 hertz, 432 hertz, 528 hertz, etc. Show the children how to meditate, which is to say, teach the children how to access bliss in their center. Meditate, middle, center, tate, cheerful. To teach the children to meditate is to teach the children to access the kingdom of God that's within them, as medi does mean in the middle, and tate in Hebrew does mean father, tati. Where is the Father? It has been said that the Father is in heaven. There is heaven without and heaven within. There is the kingdom of God within and God's kingdom without. All of those young people, your children, our children, who are able to receive the science of meditation will evolve into people of great composure. So do treat your perfecting yourself through your children, who are our children, who are the children of the future, which is our future, which is the future, as it is an important project. Carry your task of generational invigoration as if it were an important project being transported across the marble floors of the most prestigious of science fairs. Truly, this affair or work of becoming stronger in your generations that you may be made free is an affair that is directly powered by what you know. Science equals to know. Fair, affair to do work. Do not you have the will to reclaim for now, as for generations and for generations to come, your power? You will accomplish this by actively utilizing the jewels that have been bestowed upon you all for ages to carry out the necessary works. This gem or jewel of actively utilizing the jewels you have received over time is actually scientific in nature. When you speak the term jewels aloud, you will observe that it is the phonetic equivocal of the term joules. Scientifically speaking, a joule is the international system of units derived, or the derived unit that is used to represent energy or work. Keep in mind that energy is a measure of the capacity to do work, and that a single joule is equal to the work done by a force of 1 Newton acting over the distance of 1 meter. That work that is done is equal to the energy that is expended throughout that occurrence. The Newton is the SI unit of force. A single Newton being equal to the amount of force that is required to accelerate an object with a mass of 1 kilogram at a rate of 1 meter per second per second. Do note that when a person lifts a thing, they are doing work. Carrying that lifted thing is not work. Raising that thing to a place or place it on an elevated plane is work. Raising your children, our children, the children, is work. Do not be confused about what is meant by carrying out works. Do not simply carry those jewels or joules. Put those jewels or joules to work. That is how we all will go about reclaiming that long lost power. We all have to collectively put in work over time. Oh, let it be explained that the formula for power is power equals work over time. That is no accident that the SI unit of measure of power is called the watt, named after a mechanical engineer and Scottish inventor who was credited with inventing the steam engine, James Watt. The name Watt has its origins in the name Walter. Walter means powerful ruler. I see. Can you see? The gem is that a ruler isn't only a lord or a captain or a chief or a governor or a god. A ruler is also a tool used for measuring. Electricity is measured in units of power watts. Oh, for so long we have measured the material plane in search of the elect, who would be able to rule on planet Earth if all fail, or if all fail. You must continue to rise up. Yes, we may have fallen astray, humanity, in the past. This does not mean that the children are inevitably doomed to fall astray also. Our children are literally our future. Just because humanity has fallen in the past does not mean that humanity has to fall perpetually. You have to continue to elevate, and you must elevate on time. We are all responsible for this great work. We, torchbearers, be of the wise and bring plenty oil along with you. I want to introduce you to your twin, your doppelganger, whose name is Soul. Your body and soul are partners, charged with the task of taking you, as all, to a higher plane in which you will live without pain and suffering, as the pain and suffering is a result of one's attachment to the world and the effect of one's seeking of pleasure. Do you want to meet Soul? Soul has been ever eager to meet you ever since the day of your birth, but naturally you have been distracted by what is referred to as everyday life. Eating, sleeping, working, crying, laughing, entertaining oneself, playing, lazing, stressing, scheming. Soul has been right there with you the whole time you've been here, on or in earth. Soul has been calling you by the day, by the hour, by the minute, by the second, by the first. Can you hear the soul? I can introduce you to one another as soon as today. Why wait? Soul will save you. If you wish to meet your soul, you have to speed up. You cannot go slow. You must go fast. No, really. I mean that you must literally go fast. Fast for 3 days. The enduring of those 3 days without food, bad music, sex, orgasm, masturbation, hate, etc. will surely activate the introduction to the soul journey. Denying the body food alone will cause for your soul to receive a message that says, I am more than my body. Think of this. When someone is starved, rather by choice, by force, or by circumstance, they are, in all truth, taking steps toward death, a realm elusive. A realm elusive. With each moment that passes without food alone, the body is preparing, making way for the transition of soul. If one doesn't eat, after about 40 days, they will most likely pass away. Thus, any fasting at all is a step toward the elusive state of post-life, which is indeed still life. It just isn't life as human beings know it. For those who are at peace with themselves, death has no sting. They, the Shalomim, the ones of peace, have assumed the position of the central resonator. They have all, the Shalomim, taken in great breaths, holding that breath like a newborn child with love, care, and yes, plenty of consideration. They, the Shalomim, rested at the feet of this delicate breath, and they all willingly embrace the imagination of the negative, the negativist negative, the coldest cold, the chilliest chill, the freeziest freeze, 32 degrees in nature, where death lives and perfects its mold. Oh, the cold does sting, and so the Shalomim have all learned to step outside of the nervous system's reception of that cold. This is how they have avoided the sting of death. There is no sting if I do not receive it, sing the Shalomim. What a truth. Why should those who have placed the garb of peace upon their bodies be afraid of death? Their new truality repels all ills. They rejoice. For the Okay. Well, I heard somebody move around me. For the ones who have accepted that there is a sound, a multicolor. I can't keep reading because I am not by myself. What is that? All right. No, I'm not talking about y'all. I'm saying some shit moving around me. All right. It's about time for me to get out live and start assessing my realm because maybe I need a message. All right. Well, this is great. I'll talk to you.